just got smashed. Oh. Something bit him. Right in the middle there, but let go. Still alive. I moved back close to where I hooked into that last fish. So we're gonna kind of just repeat the same process. About 20 minutes left of the bite time. But all I did there was the old dirty Mike after my friend Mike, who I took out here fishing trip. He's never been kayak fishing and he's fished like once or twice in his life. And I managed to hook him into a 20-pound yellow fin tuna and probably a 10-pound uku, a job fish. I was watching him and he inadvertently did the maneuver. So one of these days I'll have to make a video about it. Basically, you let your line out till whatever distance you want, and then you turn back and you go towards your bait as fast as you can. So it creates a great big U in your line, and that puts slack in there. And oftentimes that will be enough to entice a fish to come and hit it. If you can, throw a bait in the water, guys. I'm hooked up again, something pretty good size, 240. Man, this is acting like a pretty big tuna, actually. Feels like it's going straight down. I'm in 250 feet, so I must have 250 feet of line out. But I don't want it to be near the right at the bottom. Let's put some heat on this joker. Otherwise we're gonna get sharked. Somebody online was commenting to put my hand further up on the foregrip to put less pressure on my wrist, but the size of this reel, it doesn't give me as much control, so that's why I like to have my hand near the reel seat. Most of the pressure is right here on my arm. But that was a pretty awesome run. Just screaming the line off. My drag was kind of loose at first, but then I tightened it. So this could be a good fish. I put money that it's not a kava kava. Or maybe I've got a world record on my hands. It's towing me out to deeper water. I'm in 280 now. Pretty soon I should be getting to my 150 feet of braid. So then the fish should be about 200 feet down because I have a 50-foot fluorocarbon leader. Yeah, I'm starting to see the tuna head shakes. Just a slow bounce in the rod. So that's probably a yellowfin tuna. It's digging in now. I think that's a pretty good sized yellowfin tuna. Probably 30 to 50 pounds. Possibility that it's foul hooked. But I think we would have had crazier runs. Okay, there's my different colored braid. And this is connected via a double uni knot. And that has never failed on me. Also, it's been on there for like 8 months. And so I'm really due to replace the top shot of braid on my line. But when I do buy more braid, I want to buy one of those like 1,500 yard spools. Definitely a tuna. You can tell it's a tuna, but they dig in and start doing circles. And if you look at the rod, it's just a slow, just kind of dot, 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 as it's swimming in circles, shaking its head. might be kind of hard to fit it underneath the rod holders, but I'm gonna try. Maybe I'll just have to go straight to having the bag like this. What is going on down there? Just got smashed on that little payload on the surface. Oh. God damn it. Shark. That was pretty freaky. I just heard splashing. Well, my bait got hit, and then I was trying to pay attention to that, and I turned around, and it looked like there were two sandbar sharks right on my bait tube. Actually, this thing's getting eaten right now. This is probably another shark. I'd rather just break this off. Like, I don't want to mess with this. I thought I'd take a second just to talk about some of the differences between these two bait tubes. One has the holes on the sides, and if you look closely, you can see the one with no holes is floating quite a bit higher in the water. I guess if it's further out of the water, that's maybe a little bit less drag. This is the one I just made. The reason I'm running two bait tubes is because I've got one full of ballyhoo and the other one with opelu, the mackerel scad, in it. Well, I think it's time to call it. It's 10 a.m., 10:05 a.m., and I don't want to stay out here too much longer. I was just getting sharked. The only reason I'm still out here is I've got tons of bait, and some of my friends are still out there. But I need to take all the bait out of the tube. I'm going to keep it all ballyhoo. Those are going to get frozen. Those will turn into chunks or chum for spearfishing, and the opelu, I'll freeze those whole for dead bait trolling. I was betting on it not being very good fishing, but it turned out to be pretty good, at least for me. My other two friends out here, it sounds like they had a few strikes, but that was about it. What I think made the difference today, I was using a 3.0 live bait hook, so super tiny, and a 50-foot leader. On top of that, I was letting out about 250 to 350 feet of line. Just trying to put as much distance between me and the bait as possible. because, you know, I'm making all kinds of noise, whether or not I think it or not. Stuff is squeaking on the kayak, creaking. If I'm pedaling, the pedal drive makes noise. Just vibration and noise usually makes the fish not want to bite. You might notice that sometimes you'll hook up when you stop pedaling and you're just sitting there eating food or something, just because you're making less of an impact. Those sharks were pretty nuts. I figured it was going to be a sharky day, but it went into overdrive there right after they came up and sniffed my bait tube. I was pretty lucky to get that tuna in, but it just takes experience. What I've done in the past is open my drag all the way, or open the bail to let the fish run to get away from the sharks. That's if the sharks are right up on the fish and the fish is like pretty close to the boat. I'll let it run like that, but I felt a jolt in the line, and then I just reeled like crazy, and was fortunate enough to get it up. It was pretty sure it was only one shark there, maybe two, but when it ate the tail, or bit off the tail, and was probably munching on that gave me enough time to just rip it up to the surface and then drag it on board. It probably was maybe 30 seconds later that I saw the shark.
Pretty sure that's my bait. Otherwise, he's got a bunch of little tiny fish, some squid in there.
I probably gave away half of the fish already, and so I've got this much left, 2-gallon baggies full, and the main purpose for this is going to be turned into jerky. It turned out really good the last time I made it, so I'm going to do that again. The wife certainly likes it. Some of this is going to go to 2 more people are going to get chunks of this, and then I'm going to save another chunk to try and do a catch and cook probably tomorrow after work. I'm just going to cut these up into 1/4-inch strips, try and vary it some, but I've just got a really sharp fillet knife right now, this I actually got for Christmas. This will be the chunk that I'll use to do the catch and cook tomorrow. Just gonna go ahead and cut the bloodline out of it. Okay, so I got it all cut up. We got a gallon-sized baggie of jerky and the scraps, the bloodline and stuff, or parts where the shark had bitten it. I'm gonna turn that into chum for the next time I go out. I met a guy at the little boat ramp yesterday morning. He does a lot of spearfishing off one of those solo skiffs, so he invited me along at some point to spearfish with him. 5 pound, 5 ounces of ahi in here. That's yellowfin tuna. So we're gonna add the ingredients for the jerky. That's soy sauce, garlic powder, onion powder, and black pepper. All right, so it's all set up, ready to go. I moved it outside because it does make kind of a fishy smell and I don't really want that in the house. But we're gonna set it up 145 for the first 2 hours, and then I'll dial it down to 130 degrees, and that's Fahrenheit for the remainder of the time. I expect it'll take about 5 hours. It's been 4.5 hours since I started the jerky. I just took it off the heat, and now I'm gonna go through the layers and take out the pieces that I think are done. There's some ones that are pretty thick, so I have a feeling it'll be going for probably another hour or so. So I'm just preparing some sashimi to start. So I've thinly sliced carrots, cucumber, and thrown some bean sprouts on a plate for color. We got about a 1 pound steak of ahi, the yellowfin tuna. I cut off the bottom part for sashimi, and then with the offcut, I'm gonna make some seared ahi. So I'm marinating that for about 30 minutes in sesame oil and soy sauce. After that, drying out the excess and putting on roasted sesame seeds. Then I'll cook it on high heat for right around 30 seconds to a minute per side, just to keep it nice and raw in the middle. And then for a sauce, I've just mixed together soy sauce, some ponzu sauce, which is just soy sauce with lime, and then a little bit of wasabi. Alright, that's going to do a pretty crazy day of kayak fishing. That's just how it goes sometimes. That's probably the sharkiest day I've had, and maybe top 3 sharkiest days I've ever had. In hindsight, sticking my feet in the water after that first shark, not a great idea. What I probably should have done is just made the decision to put the fish bag perpendicular to the kayak, thrown it in there, and then got my feet back in the kayak, because it must have been maybe an hour after that is when those other sharks showed up, and it looks like they were specifically going after my bait tube, although they came by right at my rudder. One of them peeled off, the other one turned back around for the bait tube, and there was actually a third shark that was down 20 or 30 feet, kind of just cruising. But the one that went for the bait tube, there was some dead ballyhoo in there, and I suspect that's what the shark was smelling. But who knows if I had my feet in the water at that point. You know, maybe they would have gone for my foot. I certainly didn't see them coming, and I didn't hear them until they splashed on top of the water. I just happened to have the camera on because one of my baits had gotten hit by something just seconds before. Anyhow, let me know what you thought about the catch and cook. I'll be doing more of those in the future as I have time. But thanks for watching and supporting the channel. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, leave them down below, and I'll catch you next video.